My next guest has never been on the air with me. I have with me April Maize, and she's the owner of Advanced Allergy Relief of Arizona. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So you got to tell everybody, first of all, I have to say this. We talked before you came on, that everyone that wasn't living here before that had allergies said, oh, move to Arizona and you won't have allergies anymore. Well, that was a load of you-know-what.
Uh-huh.
So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so I am a holistic naturopathic doctor. I do holistic allergy care.
So
yes.
what is that?
And so that basically means that we take care of not just the symptoms, but we get to the root of what's really going on and what's causing all of that reaction in your body, whether it's causing you to have hay fever or terrible gastrointestinal symptoms, lung problems, or even skin problems.
So it's interesting that you mentioned gastrointestinal.
Yes.
A lot of people seem to have that, and it could be from allergies. But one thing you said to me before you came on is that we focus a lot on people what they're eating.
Yeah, we really do. And people don't tend to realize how much their foods are actually playing in the background of so many of their symptoms. And especially even the hay fever symptoms, they don't realize if they're having year-round allergy symptoms, head, eyes, ears, nose, throat, just being so congested, there is often late and delayed food reactions that are happening in the background. And that actually really distinguishes us between conventional allergy work and then also what we do at Holistic or at Advanced Allergy Relief.
Now, you do something which is called a sensitivity or allergy test, and you said they are two separate things. So what are they? How does it work?
Yeah, so allergies tend to be pretty obvious. Pollen comes out, you feel miserable. You eat that one food, the dairy, for example, and you have bad stomach pains or other symptoms. And so though allergies tend to be acute, they tend to happen within 0 to 12 hours. They're really obvious. Sensitivities are more subtle. They're often things that you don't even realize you're eating, and they're actually causing a more late and delayed reaction between 0 and 72 hours. And it's not super obvious, but at the end of the day, it's contributing to your total allergic burden. And those are incredibly important to be sussing out. And that's why we actually test those differently.
So we're going to open up the lines to the audience, whether it's for you or someone that, we're going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show, because you do free consultations there.
We do.
And what we're going to do is everyone gets entered to win either a sensitivity or the allergy test, and it comes along with a free consultation.
Yes.
And it is a $500 value, free to you or anyone you know. So important when people come in. What is the protocol when they come in? What is it? Because a lot of people, and I don't know how you do it, but do you do the
skin test?
Okay, let's talk about those.
So we have a whole plethora of different testing that we use, and we do some conventional testing. So you can go and get information about your allergies. We can send you for a blood draw, or we can do skin testing just like you would at a conventional allergist. We also have a very different medical device that allows us to ascertain what your nervous system is having a stress response to. And so that's a very unique way of testing allergy and sensitivity, and it's non-invasive, and it's great for kids. And so we see a lot of multi-generational, we see families, we see parents, we see grandparents, and we do all sorts of great testing for whatever is the best fit for them.
Now, you're located in Phoenix at Greenway and 51st, and your phone number to call, it's 602-866-3500. Their website is becomeallergyfree.com. And, we've got our lines open here, and one thing I have to say, I didn't know you work with children.
Yeah, we do.
The children, oh my gosh.
We're seeing an epidemic of food allergy and sensitivity in the kids.
Really?
There's a lot of theory as to why that is happening, but in the last 10 years, that has just spiked. Back in the 80s, do you remember hearing about kids who had to be separated because of their peanut allergies in schools?
Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm.
And maybe that was happening infrequently, but it's happening more and more. There's such an awareness of it now. And so we see a lot of children, and we can really help them with their their symptoms. And food allergies tend to be really bad in the last 10 years.
A lot of the kids, and even adults, I'm not saying that's just for
Sure,
kids,
of course.
but when your kids they don't know what to say to you. They don't know how to say it to you, right? And they don't know how to express themselves. And a lot of them that are not doing well in school because they didn't sleep that night, right? Or they're affected during school.
Yeah. And the reality is allergy causes a lot of inflammation, and that can affect people, head, eyes, ears, nose, throat, their gut, but it can also affect focus and attention in a very negative way.
So we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win. It's a sensitivity or the allergy test. There's different ones that they offer. You are a holistic allergy care doctor, and the phone number to call them is 602-866-3500, and the website is becomeallergyfree.com. I want to talk a little bit about the sensitivities and things like that. So what do you see mostly that people are allergic to and they don't know it?
So they're sensitive to the top 5 things are dairy, wheat, corn, soy, and sugar.
Everything we eat every day.
And nuts on occasion too. Obviously those are pretty high too. Yeah, and most people are eating these multiple times a day. And so of course it's going to be contributing to maybe chronic congestion or some other things that are playing in the background symptom-wise.
Now when you, let's say, okay, you found out now what they are allergic to.
Yep.
There's another step to all of this, and that's help me, doc. Give me something that's going to make me feel better.
Yeah, so this is interesting. And usually when you see a naturopathic doctor, we test these things. It's very common to pull them out of their diet. But it's very hard to keep a dairy, wheat, corn, soy, sugar, nut-free diet. And so we've actually got a program that allows you to retrain your system so that when these foods are back in your body, there isn't a reaction. And this is a very novel thing that pretty much nobody is doing. And that is another thing that really differentiates us. And so we could eliminate those foods, or we can retrain your body to no longer have a reaction to them. Isn't that different?
Yeah. So in other words, you could still eat it. You're not taking it away.
Correct.
You are retraining their body to like it.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, it's something called, it's a medical device that we use, and it's a biofeedback system, and it plays into something called the neuroimmune reactivity of the allergic response. And this is very complex, but at the end of the day, our brains have a lot more say in the reactions that are occurring in our body.
That's been an issue for a long time for me. So tell me about that.
Yeah. And so if your brain has set up this defense mechanism and a stress response to, say, dairy, if we can retrain your brain that, hey, dairy is neutral, no longer a threat, no longer an enemy, then if you eat dairy again, you won't have that same reaction.
It's interesting.
It is.
And you are the only ones that does this right now, as far as you know?
There are a few in the United States, but we are a very novel clinic with this.
That's awesome.
It's non-invasive. Yeah.
Because, now there's a time where I've heard people say, well, milk is really bad for you.
Sure.
When I was younger, milk was normal for me,
People weren't reacting to it.
Well, that's what we thought. That was what we thought. We drank milk. I think I drank milk for every meal.
Didn't
honestly.
we all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, okay, but then there's people, obviously, peanuts. Let's say somebody, can you actually get them? Because, sometimes you want to have, sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't. But honestly, if you want that and you like that and it's a good, let's say it's an almond or you're allergic to it, because you can be allergic to those too, but they're healthy for you, you can actually retrain their brain to accept it.
Let's speak to ones that are very high anaphylactic.
Okay.
The deadly reactions, those are things we won't touch, because those are things that we don't want to ever put anybody at risk for.
So that's something like if somebody's allergic to peanuts, we don't do that.
Right.
If they have that terrible reaction.
Correct.
Right.
What we like to do is retrain the stress response around peanuts so that the even cross reactivities that can cause a lot of harmful
God forbid.
symptoms, that those we often
Makes
see
sense.
those calm down.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and we have some people who can't even go into an airplane because of the peanut, or enter a room, or they can't go to a baseball game. And so it'd be nice to be able to get them to a place where they could at least be in the vicinity, even if they are never going to eat a peanut again. So there's a caveat. Peanuts is a hard one.
Right.
Most of the other foods, we don't see that level of reaction. Peanut and shellfish tend to be very high reactivity.
But I do love the idea of not having as bad of a reaction, knowing that I'll have more time, let's say. But honestly, this is super cool. We need to talk about this.
Very different.
And she knows of no one else that does this here. Now, their website is becomeallergyfree.com. Their phone number direct is 602-866-3500. They do free consultations, and what we're doing here is we're getting everybody entered into win. It's a sensitivity or the allergy test, and it's a $500 value to you or anyone you know. So that's free to you or anyone you know. And they are a holistic allergy care. She's a holistic allergy care doctor, and the phone number to call here for this, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Call in here. Maybe it's for you or someone that you know. Doctor, you're going to have to come back again. I have to turn this off now. But guys, you don't want to have to deal with allergies, so give her a call, 602-866-3500, or get entered into here and become allergy free. Woo!